Shut up and sit down.
Hello, my friend. You are listening to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast, the number one place for innovative marketing, retention strategies, and business growth ideas made just for dance studio owners. Now, this isn't your average business podcast. We're here to shake things up, simplify the hustle, and focus on real, actionable insights. I'm your host, Jen Dalton, and after 30 years of running studios, coaching owners, and scaling businesses, I know one thing's for sure. There's no one size fits all in this industry. You've got the passion and I've got the tools to help you take it to the next level. So hit that subscribe button, grab a coffee, and let's scale your studio together. Okay, let me paint you a picture. It's Monday. You've got a to-do list that could simply crush a small animal. You open your inbox, there's 25 new emails, your phone's ringing as a parent who's just checking in about the thing that you already sent an email about, and you're sitting there thinking, there has to be a better way. Well, there is, and it's called systems. But before you roll your eyes and think, ugh, I've tried that before, let's talk. Because I'm not here to give you another color-coded spreadsheet to convince you to set up a 97-step workflow. I'm here to tell you what actually works in real studio life. The kind where you're juggling classes, a team, parent emails, communications, and trying to remember if you've even had lunch. So today's episode is about systems that actually stick, even if you've tried them before and fallen off, even if your studio feels more reactive than planned. And especially if you're starting to resent how much it relies on you to hold it all together. So it's a little real talk, it's a little strategy, and there's going to be a little bit of tough love, because if you want your business to grow, you can't keep rebuilding it from scratch every term. So let's work to fix that, right? Let's start with what's actually chewing up your time. Because it's not the big projects. It's not the things that are fun that people see, making big changes and the shiny disco ball stuff. It's the small, repetitive, boring stuff. So it could be writing the same email 10 times, but just in different ways. It could be scrambling to find info that you know you've written down somewhere. And honestly, I'm such a paper pen girl. Actually, I'm a paper and pencil girl. And I just have paper literally surrounding me right now as I'm recording this episode, because I am that person, but I'm trying to be more systemized in mine too, because I know that feeling. Maybe it's the posting to socials last minute because you're like, oops, it's been a few days. Maybe it's reminding staff of something that you've already told them, or re-answering the same parent questions over and over again. These aren't emergencies, but they are absolute energy and time drains. They just add up, those hours. And these are the hours that you could be spending on growth-focused work or simply just breathing for a second. So here's the shift that I want you to take away from this episode. I want you to start thinking in repeatables. So if you do something more than once, it needs a system, an email template, a checklist, a reusable calendar. Even a simple Google Doc counts. If it's repeatable, it's systemizable. So let's talk about the method I swear by, and I talk about with studio owners like pretty much every day. It's the batch, block, and delegate. Now, this is simple, effective, and flexible. So let's just break it down. So batching, I talk about grouping similar tasks together and doing them all at once. So this might be scheduling all your social media for the month in one sitting. It might be writing your emails to parents, or it might be putting together your team notes all in one go. It could also be prepping concert templates or onboarding packs, but just doing it all in one session. And I'll tell you the reason behind this is because when you're doing one task, your brain is switched onto that task. So it's going to switch the mental load It's going to actually reduce your mental load because you're not switching from topic to topic. And that just causes decision fatigue. And I'm really, really bad at that. And I don't know if it's undiagnosed ADHD or whatever, but I am the person that sits down to start something and then I'll switch to something else and I'll switch to something else. And it really has been in probably the last 18 months where I've really tried hard to do this process, like this batching of blocking it out into my timetable so that I'm making sure that I'm doing the same tasks or similar tasks in one go. And then I will actually even set the timer on my phone, and I'll set it for 50 minutes. And in that 50 minutes, I have to sit there and just focus in on these particular tasks. I'm not allowed to get up and go to the toilet. I'm not allowed to get up and get a drink, switch the washing over, put the slow cooker on. None of that. I just, for 50 minutes, have to sit in and focus on these individual tasks. And I can tell you, it honestly has been changing the game for me. So if that's something that you don't currently do or you could tweak up, I really encourage you to give that a go. Okay, so that's the batching component. The next one is blocking. So for me now, if it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist. You have to carve out actual time for each of your tasks. Now, it's not when I get to it time. This needs to be protected and focus blocks. Now, for those of you who are teaching, those blocks need to go in. If you've got times through the week where you are in the classroom teaching, they need to go straight in. They need to be blocked in. It's the same though for all the other tasks that you have to do. So even if it's just 30 minutes a week of system building, time can shift everything. Your systems need space to breathe, and your business deserves your intentional time, not just the leftovers. And again, these are the things that are stopping us from growing. If you're happy where you're sitting right now, everything's humming, you feel like your schedule is perfectly balanced for the way you like it, then absolutely that's awesome. However, if you are one who is wanting to grow, you're wanting to scale, you're wanting to step more into a CEO role, or maybe you're wanting to step more into the teaching side because you love teaching as opposed to the admin, this is where you need to start putting blocks of time in your calendar to enable you to get to that position in your business. Okay, that's the second one. Now, the third part of this is to delegate. And this for most studio owners is absolutely the hardest one. I've spoken about it before. You are most probably a control freak and a perfectionist, but I'm going to challenge you to let stuff go. And this won't happen overnight. It doesn't mean handing over like massively big things, in 1 week. It means you just need to take a step back and start by identifying what is it that can be automated? What is it that could be templated? And what is it that could be handed off to someone else to do? So whether that's a teacher that you have, whether you are using a VA or an admin person, or even the AI tools now, they might be able to handle some of these things. Delegation just gives you more capacity, and capacity is what you need to scale. Now, let's get honest. Most systems will fall apart when you're in survival mode. This I just truly believe, because I've lived it for so many years, and around concert time, everything else falls apart because you just focused on getting those concerts done. Same with exam time, same when it comes to costuming. But other ones like the social plan, like it's great in theory, but never gets opened. The SOPs that you wrote once never get touched again. That folder you meant to get everyone to use, no one's looking at it. So how is it that we can stop that cycle? The first one is keep it simple. We don't want to overcomplicate anything for yourselves, for starters, but also for your team. Think about it. Think about if you're sitting down to do something, and to do it, you need to watch a video or a 10-minute tutorial or read notes. No one, including yourself, will stick with that. So it has to be really simple, dot points, step by step. This is what I need. The next one is to make it visible. So it has to be in a shared space. Now, this could be a printout laminated on the reception desk. It could be something that's stuck on the wall. It could be in Google Drive. It could be a Trello board. It could be Airtable, Asana, whatever it's going to be. wherever it's going to be seen and used, you want to have it visible and easily accessible. And the third one is to assign ownership. So if your system relies on you remembering to follow it, then it's not a system. You need to assign ownership or automate the trigger. And remember, one great system that runs smoothly is way more valuable than 5 fancy ones that no one uses. So keep it simple, keep it visible, and you just have to relinquish your ownership of it so that it's someone else. If they're doing that task, they are then responsible for it. Now, here's a mindset shift that is going to help you to stick with that. You want to stop defaulting to chaos mode and start stepping into a CEO mode. I know there are definitely studio owners and teachers out there who love and thrive off the chaos and the drama. I get that. However, you need to make a decision. Are you doing that for yourself or as a coping mechanism? Or should you really be trying to step into that real leadership and taking your studio to that next level? Because right now you're probably, cancelling the only out admin time that you have because you might need to be ordering costumes, or you're skipping next year's planning because there's been a parent issue and you need to get that sorted. I get it, and it's the nature of how most studios run until you decide to shift it. Because if you're always choosing the urgent over the important, then your studio will always depend on you doing everything. So you can start carving out protected time each week for you to work on the business and not just in it. So even 45 minutes can change how you lead or how you run your business. Even if it's in the car with a coffee and your notes app, this is how you start showing up like the CEO that your studio needs. And now you might be thinking, well, that sounds great, but where do I even start? And these are the exact reasons why I actually created the tools inside the Dance AI membership, because these save you hours and headspace. Within the membership, there are the 12 custom-built GPTs. They're built specifically for studio owners. They've been developed and educated in the back end, and that's the difference with this product that I have. There are templates, there are systems and pre-written processes, and they give you a really good starting point. So right now, we have our membership is bustling, and it's growing every day, which is so exciting. And the feedback that we are getting from studio owners is, it is saving me so much time. It is saving me so much energy and thought processes. And so if you're not staring at that blank screen and you're trying to build a policy from scratch or in between classes, it's not about outsourcing your brain. It's about supporting your brilliance. So tools like that will help. Finding someone on your team who you trust will also help. And that, again, this may take time. It may take different people before you get to that point, but you have to start looking for the strengths within your team, because it may be the stuff that you can then hand over and start sharing and delegating with. You just want to be able to focus on leading, creating, and growing. All right, so let's just do a quick recap. Most studio owners are wasting time in repeatable, reactive tasks, and we want to switch that. How do we switch that? It's with the batch, block, and delegate method, because it's going to create you breathing room. You want to focus in on simple systems as opposed to complicated ones that will fall apart. You need to show up for your business like it matters, because it really does, right? And you want to let tools and templates and support do the heavy lifting where they can. Now, you don't have to run at 100% all the time. You just need a studio that supports you as much as you support it. So start small, pick one thing to systemize this week, and message me when you do, because I would love to hear about it. All right, so moving forward, if I mentioned the Dance AI membership is open, and at the moment I'm doing a special with 7 days free trial. So if you want to jump in on that, you are welcome to give it a try for 7 days. If you love it, you keep going. If you don't, you don't have to keep going. You can end it. But it really is changing the game for studio owners and the way they are running their businesses. If that is something you're interested, please just send me a DM on Instagram and I will send you the link with more information. All right, everyone, I hope you've been able to get something from this episode, whether it's just one thought, one idea. I always go into any situation, whether it's reading a book, whether it's watching a documentary, whether it's listening to a podcast, seeing someone live on stage. If I can walk away with one thing and implement it, it's the beginning of change. And so I just hope, even if you just get one thing from this, I hope you implement it and start seeing the changes quickly. All right, everyone, have a good week and I'll see you next episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other studio owners who would love it too. And let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Instagram at Jen Dalton for more tips, insights, and behind-the-scenes moments to help you simplify and scale your studio. Until next time, keep dreaming big and taking action. I'll see you back here soon.